Are you part of the sandwich generation, taking care of both your kids and your parents? Or maybe your kids are grown, but now your parents need the help.
It can be overwhelming and isolating, but there is help, financial help. You may not know about it if you happen to be one of these caregivers.
Yes, and here from Topeka Daly Pope is attorney Brendan Daly to talk about exactly what kind of help there is. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
People would never, I've never heard of this, that actually if you're a caregiver, there may be a way you can get paid for taking care of your parents.
Yeah, and I see this quite a bit with my clients and adult children who want to keep them at home in the less restrictive environment than a nursing home, and they're doing this out of the goodness of their heart, caring for their parents.
Right.
And oftentimes they're leaving their job or taking a leave of absence, and this is an income replacement to have a caregiver agreement in place.
Now, they say there's about 35 million unpaid caregivers in the United States. Is that right? That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people. And about
180,000 unpaid family caregivers right here in Connecticut.
That's
and
right.
most of them are doing, that's more than a part-time job, 24 hours a week of caring for their parents.
That's the average. That's correct.
So how do we go about finding help? What's the first thing that we should do?
Well, you need to see an elder law attorney.
Okay.
And have a contract prepared. And it has to be structured properly, because if it isn't, and the parent goes to apply for Medicaid benefits, then the transfers, the amounts that were given to the caregiver child could be considered gifts if this is all done incorrectly. Okay. So it's got to be done properly in order to compensate the child.
So when you say gifts, does it mean the money is coming actually from your parents' estate, or is there federal money that...
No, from the parent themselves, giving the money to the child. But if this is done improperly, then the state of Connecticut, if you apply for Medicaid, might misconstrue this and call it a gift.
A gift.
Okay.
So it's got to be done properly.
It's structured so that your parents from their estate are actually paying you for caring for them.
Sure.
You know, and there's so many different laws and so many different things. There's look-back periods for people transferring money and giving, you know, like they say, oh, I'm going to sign my house over. You know, they start to get sick, and within a year they sign the house. That's not good enough, right?
No.
You got to go back and back and back. Tell us a little bit about that.
It's a 5-year period. So when somebody applies for Medicaid benefits, if they're in a nursing home or they're in home getting home care, the state goes back 5 years to see what they've done with their money. If they've given assets away, then it can cause a disqualification period. So it's a matter of planning early.
Now, some of people, their parents don't own a home. They're already they've been renting. Maybe they don't have a lot of assets. Is there any concern for those families if their parents are just renting a property?
Sure, because they might have liquid assets.
Okay.
And it's a matter of asset protection. And it's what I hear a lot from adult children is, we don't want the money from mom and dad, but it's what mom and dad want. And they want to try to preserve the assets for the children.
Well, you're also saying that 24 hours a week can go into, that's more than a part-time job.
Sure, absolutely. And a lot of times, again, these adult children are leaving their jobs or now working part-time instead of full-time and caring for the parent. And so it's a matter of income replacement to compensate them for what they're doing. So
you would structure then a contract where there's an hourly wage or something like that is actually being paid for care.
That's correct.
And that's okay. You can do that even though it's a family member.
That's legitimate.
Did you get a tax? I mean, a W-9 at the end of the year? And you do.
That's a lot of things. That's something a lot of people don't realize, is that it's taxable income to the child, and that the parent is the employer and has to take care of payroll taxes and unemployment and workers' comp. So there are a lot of attendant issues that need to be fleshed out.
Is it expensive to come and have that consultation with the elder law, or can they just make an appointment to talk at first?
Sure. Making an appointment to come in and talk and to feel this out is not expensive.
Okay.
And on a whole, this is not heavy lifting, just having a caregiver agreement. And it's important to do, and to do it the right way.
And it's like, especially if you're a caregiver, remember, you got to take care of yourself first before you start taking care of everybody else. Otherwise, there ain't nobody to take care of anybody.
Right.
Well, yeah, we just interviewed a woman who, just the other day, I interviewed a woman who ended up becoming homeless because she left her job. She thought it was going to be for a couple weeks to take care of her mom. It turned into a year. She lost everything. And you're seeing that happens. Sometimes the caregivers get so blinded by what they have to do, they put their entire future at risk.
Because their instinct is just go care for
their mom and dad. Yeah. Can it be any relative, like if an aunt or an uncle gets sick?
Sure. I mean, I just see it most often as adult children, but absolutely, any child or any other relative or friend caring for somebody, if they're doing that and it's unpaid, this is the way to compensate.
I think that's great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Great advice.
All right, so if you want more information, you should at least get some advice that could maybe really help you. You want to go to Topeka Daly Pope's website, and it's right there on the screen.
TopekaLaw.com. Topeka is spelled CZEP. IGA. You can also call the number 860-259-1575.
All right.